Welcome back, everybody, to Top Tier Studios. This is episode 15, and in this episode, we're going to be starting off the fourth themed area of the park. So, last episode, we finished off the third area, which was our sci-fi themed part. We are going to go back to that after we finish this episode, and the only reason why we're going to do that is basically so we can tie it in to the area that we're going to work on after this. So, and that's going to be the same kind of with the Ghostbusters area that we did. I'm going to have to go back to that and kind of tidy a few things up in the corner, just to make it kind of flow from area to area. So, that's all kind of coming up, but right now we're gonna focus on this new section, which is gonna be a Riviera riverfront type area, almost kind of like Venice, I would say, or something along the lines of that. So, like, in terms of movies and stuff, this is gonna be more of like a romantic type area. I was thinking like waterfront, possibly I could do pirates and stuff, but I feel like that's just a little bit like too basic, and I feel like it'd be too much of a ripoff doing like Pirates of the Caribbean and all that. So I didn't really want to do that. I kind of wanted to make it my own. So we're gonna do it more of like love based, I guess. I don't know. It kind of sounds bad saying it like that, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting. So we'll see where this goes. It's gonna be a lot like the main ride is gonna be a lot like Pirates of the Caribbean in the sense that it is the same ride type, which we are doing the layout for that right now, and like a lot of the theming and stuff, it's gonna look a lot like it. It might not tell the same story, but it will still look like it. And then in this area, there's gonna be a second flat ride, which is gonna be a it's the whirly rig. It's like that mini Ferris wheel for like the younger kids, and it seemed to like barrels and stuff. And I figured I could tie that into like a port type building there, and that's gonna be right on the entrance like side of the area. So the main entrance, and then there's the entrance to this area. So it's gonna be right in between there, and so we're gonna place that down here in a couple seconds. And then right across from that, I don't know if we get to it in this particular episode, but next to like the drop tower thing that we got going on there, that is going to be a little restaurant type thing. It's going to have like the Monsieur Frites, something like that. It's like the fries shop, but it's like French or whatever, and it kind of fits in with like the love type vibe that we got going on here, because like Paris, a lot of people think of like love, so that's what we're kind of going with those shops and this area as a whole. So over the past couple of minutes, you saw me create the actual ride layout, and I placed down the other flat ride, and then we placed down the actual pathing for this area. Pathing will be coming back up a little bit later on in the episode when we get to the queues. That will be the last thing that we do. We're going to do the queue for the main attraction. And I did make this queue super, super obnoxiously long. So that's going to be a little bit hard to kind of incorporate. And you can see, I don't know if it's actually recorded or not, but me incorporating the priority pass, yeah, that kind of was hard. But I don't know if that was recorded or not, but if it is, you will see it, and you'll see how crazy it actually looks in the end. So right now, what we're doing, as I said, there's going to be a riverfront for this area. So we're actually making this kind of like border, and the reason why I'm doing this, I could just leave it how it is, and the trick is basically when you have when you place paths and then you try and put like terraforming around it, the water, or actually the land, like gets automatically stopped next to the path. It's super weird and janky, so it doesn't really look the best. So the way you can fix this is by basically creating your own border, and I'm doing this with this like stone structure, and I'm basically custom making it to fit this section. And then on top of that, I'm gonna do this like curved kind of like arch that the boat ride will come out of, and then it will go in, and it'll be identical on the other side. So that's all what we're going to be doing for a good chunk of time here. We're just going to be working on this wall, and this will surround this whole area. So the one thing that it won't surround is the left side. I guess if you're looking towards the parking lot, the left side of this like pond, I guess you could say, is not going to be covered. or is not going to be blocked off, because I want that to lead kind of into the next sections of the park. And also when we get to it, it could lead to our hotel building, and like it could separate the park from the hotel, and then even like a separate parking lot could be like kind of separated using it. So it's gonna kind of be used as a natural border for the park, and it's gonna make everything flow a lot easier, which I think should help with things. And then one of the final areas that we do is I'm gonna try and incorporate a water feature into it. So I wanted to get this going in this section, and I want it to lead all the way back there. So that's kind of a little bit of foreshadowing. I'm not going to tell you what that last section is, just because we got a long way to go. So even me telling you, it really just, you would probably forget about it. And if you don't forget about it, well then I would be spoiling it. So why would I want to give it to you? So that's what we're going to be working on here. We're going to, as I said, go around the whole square that we have going on right here. And then we'll leave the one side open. But the main challenge with this, which we just did, was that arch, to make sure it was as rounded as I could get it and as nice as looking as I could get it. So that's basic what we're doing. And you know what's not really basic is how I'm going to be theming this ride. Well, hopefully it doesn't look basic, but if you saw me actually creating the layout for this ride, you know that this area, or the section I'm building in, is not very large. I'm working in a very, very small section of land, and it's going to be very difficult to be able to get a lot of theming in there. And the reason why it's so small is just because the last ride we built took up a large chunk of space, and that kind of left me a little sliver that I really think would actually incorporate really well into this theming building that I'm going to start working on in the next episode. So that's what's going to be coming in the next episode. It's going to be starting the theming for that ride. So the idea is, and I'll give you a little sneak peek, I guess, I want to kind of make it like you're snaking your way through a city type thing, and like that's why it's a little bit curved. And basically I want it there to be like special scenes with animatronics and all that. So it's super narrow, but it kind of works at the same time. So hopefully I can integrate that really well, and it will look all nice. So we're actually getting near the end of this section of the video, I guess you could say. We're almost done with that. Well, actually, we just kind of finished it up. So we're actually going to work on the final section. We did have kind of a smaller episode today, only like 9 minutes or so, but I didn't want to start the next episode's worth of content just because it's going to start a whole new process. So as I was referring to, this queue is going to be insanely large. I said that at the beginning of this episode, and you're going to see that here. So what I wanted to do was kind of make the queue above the station at some point, not knowing that the queue is going to have to be insanely tall. And so that's going to kind of come back to haunt me a little later on. And I think it might hurt me when I try and actually theme the ride. So what I'm going to have to do basically is make those buildings to where it can actually fit the queue on the other side of them. And then on the other side of the queue, I'm going to have to put more buildings to make sure that the front section doesn't lose its its charm and all that. So there's a lot going on there. The queue is pretty much going to be sandwiched in the middle. Probably not a lot of theming, but that's okay. And we're actually near the end of the video. So we're just going to finish this up, and as we get to the end of the video, you're just going to see this queue get crazier and crazier, and then we're going to add priority pass, which is going to be even crazier because the queue for that is actually going to be interactive with the ride. So that's going to be something new as well to incorporate, but we are within the last 20 seconds or so. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's going to be a process to get this done, but I think it'll look cool in the end. So you just have to wait and see. Stay tuned for it. As I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys will see me in the next one. And until then, make sure to have a great day, whatever you guys are having, great night. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out.